go, look at the foam. That means you had a good workout right there. Hey everyone, welcome to Dakota Does Dressage. So I just got to the barn and Dakota's looking like he's taking a bit of a nap, but he's gonna have to wake up here and do some work. My name is Andrea, and if you're new to our channel, we just started doing Western Dressage back in the spring. We've done a virtual test in June. We have a video up on that with our comments and scores from the judge. And then we did 2 virtual tests in August. Those are also up on the channel. So if you want to watch those first and then come back and watch this one, that would probably help this video make a little more sense. But basically, the feedback we got from the judges was that we need to work on our connection and impulsion. So that's what we're going to be doing today during our ride. We're going to pop some tack on him, head out to the indoor, and see how it goes. Okay, if anyone's a scientist, I need you to explain this phenomenon to me that I'm holding the bottle upright. It just squirted perfectly on the other side. Now I squirt it over here, nothing's coming out. I turn it upside down, it sprays. Is the earth flat? I'm questioning everything now. All right, so the judge said impulsion, work on impulsion. And I got a lot of 6.5s, and I really think if I can get him to move with more impulsion, we're gonna see 7s. And I think I'm gonna be possibly out of the 60s because my last test score, my highest test score was it a 67, I think? So I'd like to start pushing up to the 70s for the September test. We'll see. Any improvement is improvement, and I'm fine with that. He's being so good in here today. He normally does not like being ridden in an indoor arena. It's also crazy hot. So that's part of the reason we need more impulsion, but also part of the reason he's a little more relaxed and sucked back. So I do have a dressage whip that I'm gonna ride with today. I don't normally ride with a dressage whip. I'm hoping I don't need to use it, but if I do. It's going to just be an extension of my body to tap on him, not hit him, not whip him, tap on him to encourage more forward motion. And at this point, I'm going to do a little disclaimer to say that I'm not a professional horse trainer. I'm an amateur. I have been riding horses for a long time, but I would consider myself a really solid intermediate rider. And my goal is to, along this journey, develop into a more advanced rider, obviously. So I wouldn't try anything that I know is out of my range of ability. And he's definitely a horse that I trust. And I feel like I've gotten just a lot better at reading the situation and knowing when to push for more and when I need to take a few steps back. That has really improved my horsemanship.
So for the rest of this ride, I'm going to do some voiceover work because as I progressed through the ride, I really was having trouble focusing on what I was saying and trying to explain everything, as well as pay attention to him and my equitation. So you'll see me talking through the rest of this, but I just, as I'm editing this, decided I should scrap that audio. It was really dragging out the video too. So I'm just going to talk over some of the key parts of my ride here. You're not going to see every last thing, but what's really important you're going to get to see, and I'm going to explain what's happening. So I did warm him up before I started to tighten up on my reins and ask for more impulsion. And here you can see I'm starting to feed those reins through my fingers to tighten them up a little bit. And he wants to slow down. So I'm going to apply more leg, use my calves to squeeze on him. He's not really responding to that. So I'm bumping him pretty gently with my lower leg, not digging my heel into him, just trying to remind him that he needs to keep moving forward. And I do still have that dressage whip, I just haven't used it yet. So I also did a leg yield here just to get his back more warmed up. But man, he's just crawling at the walk. He definitely needs more impulsion. There are also lots of fun things happening outside of the indoor during this ride that seems to be just part of what goes on here at this farm, which is fine. Like, I'm not going to get upset about it. And Dakota's handled it really well. He's really become a horse that doesn't get too upset about things or spook. He just kind of wants to look. So it's good practice for me because if I plan to take him off the property into a show, I want him to feel safe and comfortable with me. And it's better to experience some of those situations at our home, our farm. This is not my home, but his home, before we go off the property. So here I am encouraging more forward motion with my legs. I'm really trying to be loose in my seat and follow his motion. There we see a lot more extension of his hind legs driving up underneath of him. He's actually using his hocks, but I could really tighten up on my reins more. And this is the hard part. This is our first day really introducing this concept to him. And I'm trying to strike a balance between, okay, I need you to bring your hind legs up under you, but not just go faster and be strung out. This is, I want you to compress your body and go round through your body. So yes, go faster for impulsion, but also lift your body, come through over your top line and through your neck. That's the whole concept here for connection and impulsion. So we practice that a little bit, and then I do give him some rein, let him relax his neck down, and there he just blew out, and he's starting to relax, and I think he's starting to understand what the exercise is. I'm still really nagging with my legs though, so you'll see I do start to use that dressage whip a little bit more. And again, I'm just tapping on him with it. I'm not gonna smack him with it. I really would never want to intimidate a horse, and I need him to be comfortable with the tools that I use because I could definitely see where I might have to ride with a dressage whip with him. He is just a horse that is lazy, and this could be a tool that becomes part of our regular routine. So, wouldn't be a good idea to scare him with it, at all, but certainly not on the first day where I'm using it. So here he's starting to try to come onto the bit. And I can tell you, I remember this ride because I'm editing it now a few days later. He just felt so heavy in my hands. You can see he's pushing down on the bit. And here we went up into the trot. So it's still pretty loose rein. I don't want to go cranking his face down to where he goes behind the vertical, but at the same time, I should be riding with a tighter rein and putting my hands down. That's something that, as I was watching this back, I kept telling myself in my head, oh my gosh, Andrea, put your hands down. I could tighten my rein here and push my hands forward, and he'd probably go on the bit pretty nicely. This is a good energetic trot here. I'd be really happy with this in a test if I could just get him a little bit more on the bit. And for anyone who's noticing, like in the corners here, he's doing like this little head bob thing. I didn't feel like he was lame when I wrote him, but certainly as I'm watching it back, I'm like, oh, was there something going on there? I'm not sure if there's a soundness issue, but I'd not seen it consistently throughout the ride, so I wasn't overly concerned. I didn't have the vet come out or anything, but it's something I'll pay attention to. And it could be something like maybe he's getting an abscess, and I can tell you his feet do need to be trimmed at the time that I'm filming this, which the farrier should be coming soon. But anyway, back to working on impulsion and connection here, I'm seeing moments, right? And that's what this whole ride is about, just introducing the concept. I'm not going to try to push him from like 0 up to 100%. You're connected, you're moving like a very well trained dressage horse. This is day one. It's going to be rough. It's going to be ugly. He's going to be mouthing on the bit and going behind the vertical and pushing his nose out. And where should I put my head and my neck? And what is all of this? He's trying to figure it out. And at the same time, I need to build his confidence with my equitation, which, oh gosh, watching me post here, it needs so much work. So again, I should be putting my hands down. I should be having less, I would say less bend in my elbow, but like here I'm not straightening my elbows as I rise at the posting trot. So put my hands down. Uh, Another issue is this saddle really gives me a chair seat. It pushes my leg so far forward. So I'm also having to think about keeping my leg back as I'm riding. And then, like here, you can see with my heel, I'm kind of nagging him a bit with my leg to go forward. He's a dull and lazy horse. So it's striking a balance again of I don't want to go thumping on him with my legs and scare him and shake his confidence. But at the same time, if I continue to just do like these little nagging kicks with my leg, he's not going to listen to that. So I'm not necessarily trying during this ride to like get him so forward he's gonna break into a canter. But I do need to be aware of that at some point when I put my leg on for that cue to mean go, he needs to go. He needs to be responsive to that. And that might mean being a little bit more forceful with that pressure from my leg. So here's a nice walk. He does break into a trot. His pull is still getting really low, but I think if I could just get more impulsion from the hind, he would actually bring his neck up and he wouldn't be dropping his pull down. My glasses kept falling down too because it was such a hot day. I was sweating so much. And I do have these pieces I can attach to my glasses that so that they won't slide down my face. I just need to find them. But overall, I'm really happy with this first day in introducing this concept. I feel like even here, that's pretty nice. He's got his neck up, he's starting to come onto the bit. This is certainly a more active trot than what he was doing in my tests. So I think right there, if I could get him at least consistently doing that, and notice how he's still kind of mouthing on the bit, but he's a lot quieter with his mouth. He's starting to flex through his pull without chomping on the bit. Oh, there he's chomping on the bit. But by and large, I think he's starting to connect the idea here that, oh, this is a new posture I need to have as I'm being ridden. I'm using my body in a different way. There we go. Really good extension through there. I could even see him dropping his croup a little bit. And back to being strung out. Andrea, put your hands down. There he broke into a canter, which I think my whip was actually starting to get a little too far back, and he was feeling that and thought, oh, okay, I guess she wants me to canter now. So I don't get upset about it. I just don't get emotional like, oh, he's taking off with me and I need to bend his nose around and break him down and punish him for this. Like, no, he's trying to give me the right answer. So he's trying so hard for me this entire ride. I just need to work on organizing myself and just being a better teacher for him. But definitely in this corner in particular, I feel like there were some really nice moments of starting to come through over his back, up through his neck, and onto the bit. Very broke into the lope again, and you just got to be prepared for that, I think, too. Anyone who's watching this and deciding to give it a go with their horse, you have to have the confidence that if your horse is going to break into the next gate from where you are, either from the walk up to the trot or the trot up to the canter, and that's not something you're really comfortable with, or your own balance isn't great handling that, maybe take a step or two back first, because I eventually will be wanting to push him to the point that he really thinks hard about breaking into that higher gate, uh, before he actually does it, because that means I'm really getting a lot more extension and engagement at the current gate. So yeah, super happy with the progress I saw in this ride, and I can't wait to build on it for the next one.
Oh, look at the foam. That means you had a good workout right there. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me and my horse. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.